Okay, well, here we are. And once again, it's Tuesday. Time for another Talks on Tuesday, where we meet every day at 11 o'clock Pacific, not every day, every Tuesday at 11 o'clock Pacific time to talk about spirituality, metaphysical, all kinds of unusual stuff. And today I chose the topic, and it is, what is our job here on Earth? I have some ideas, but I'm going to open it to you guys first before I start in on a professorial lecture.
I'll volunteer. Well, I thought this was a great question, and I have engaged this for many years now and refined it. And, what am I doing here? What is everyone doing here? What is our purpose? All this good stuff. For me, one of the main things for every individual, in my opinion, is to do the inner work because of all of our past traumas, our hurts, our pains, rejections, whatever it might be. We need to work through that and just live in the now. And that is the main thing. And I think the world would be a different place if we all did that. But then also from that, then with me handling that a lot in the past, and now sometimes I still have to handle some of that. Or if it comes to me, it has a very short life because of the work I've done. So I've been able to allow more room for service to others, service to other beings on the planet, humans, animals, all this stuff. That extended to activism for many, many years in different kinds of things. Um, and then I I pretty much think that most of us really know down deep what is ethically and morally right. Some people will say, well, what is the truth? Well, I understand what is the truth in a lot of scenarios, but we do know that it's morally wrong to, you know, kill your neighbor or whatever. It's just not right. So, yeah, so I mean, this feels good for me to have this kind of life because I know it's just not all about me. It has to be about others from my perspective. Now I know there are some people that can't do that, maybe due to, physical ailments, or it could be any number of things. But for a lot of us, I would love to see more of that coming from people and not allowing a lot of the evils that are on the planet, not to allow the people that do this to get away with it because it's ruining the collective consciousness. Anyway, that's my what I don't know what you called it, Mary, but that's my lecture, my professorial lecture, whatever you want to call it.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. You'll get a good review on Rate My Professor.
Yes.
Yeah, I
I,
used
I
to do
think
that.
you're listening, Gino. I think you're listening to what your callings are. I think we're here to listen, but backtracking what you said, the what we're you know activism or callings, but you were saying before that, it's to do the inner work. And I think that's also is the compassion. I think compassion is probably the word that comes to mind for me. What's my job here on earth is to learn compassion. And then doing the inner work, like you said, Gino, is self-compassion.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I think this awareness of compassion and the learning of compassion is accompanied by being compassion. And I've been reading A Course in Miracles for probably 30 years now. And the Course in Miracles says that our main job, everyone has the same job of being love in a loveless world. But then it also says each of us comes into this planet with certain talents, propensities, habits, that can also serve. And each of us has this individual purpose. So I'm curious what you think about that.
But I think the loveless world is an illusion. I think we buy into the fact that it's a loveless world, and it seems that way sometimes, but it's the building blocks of it are love. It, and maybe just those little learning curves are also part of what we're here to learn.
Yeah, or what seems to be loveless is maybe just too much acting out of ego, which expresses as greed or power mongering. Barb, you had your hand up.
Well, yeah, I think that it's just forgetting that you are all that is. You know, when you talk about the loveless world and things like that, it's just you know, you're just closed off a little bit to our true nature. And what I thought of initially, in fact, immediately after when I saw your post yesterday about what's our job, I'm going back to Solomon Speaks, page 143, and I actually bookmarked this page because I just was so in love with it. You're not here to suffer, you're put here to enjoy. Hi, Cecilia. I had perfect timing. It's the process of learning how to enjoy that's important. And, you know, I was reading that this morning, and then I jumped on Abraham Hicks and was watching some of that, and it's kind of the same thing. We're here to experience and here to experience joy. And I think that happens when we do some of those things, Gino and Chelsea, that you were talking about, you know, active, you know, fulfill our need to be active and compassionate and, you know, make a positive imprint in this world. But that all stems from the joy from within that we experience from doing those things. So that's my 2 cents.
That's
And
good.
if everyone could experience that joy, we would be much kinder.
Yeah. Anka, do you have anything to share? And if not, that's okay.
I don't have anything to share.
It's okay. We love you being here.
Okay, thank you. I will listen.
Okay, Cecilia?
I would love to share. I mean, I missed the whole first part. I'm sorry. I just jumped in, but absolutely, being here on Earth, it's you get to choose whatever it is. My brother years ago was asking me about, you know, we were having a tiff kind of thing, and he was like going, "So why are we here? Why are we here on Earth?" And he was just really upset. I said, "Why?" I mean, because he said, you know, when it's over, it's over. Nothing. It's like, well, no, we come back. We come back. He goes, "Why would we do that?" I said, "Because have you ever been on a roller coaster and you're like screaming the whole time, like, and you're so excited. And at the same time, it's like, oh my God, it's the scariest thing ever. And then it gets done and you just go, let's do it again." Yes, we want to come back and do it again. And we want to do different things. And we want to try new things and go on different coasters. And we want to explore and expand and play and pretend that, oh my gosh, I could die. But it's like going, but I didn't. Okay, let's do it again. So it's like, no, we want to have a good time. We want to play and expand and explore and try new things and meet new people and have new conversations and just engage. We're not here alone. We're here to be engaging with others. We are here to have fun. We're here to try new things, meet new people, have new experiences, new conversations, and enjoy it. Find the joy, find the love, find the beauty in all of it. And maybe you were a scoundrel in the last life, but this time you get to choose differently and see how that feels better. You know, so much better. So yeah, you might have some deja vus where you go, oh, this didn't feel right. It's like, well, guess what? That moment right now, when you had that deja vu, choose something else. Yeah. So that's
Good.
what that's about for me.
Well, Earth is the
My
ultimate,
opinion.
the learn by doing planet. We learn by doing, and we become lifelong learners instead of just lifelong learners.
Yeah.
So we create our own curriculum,
Mhm.
and it's really fun. But in terms of a job on the planet, what do you think that looks like in daily life? Can you give me some examples?
I don't think we have a job. I don't think we have a specific job. I think we get to choose over and over and over, and we get to re-choose if we don't like that job. I have had many jobs in my life, and sometimes, I mean, jobs. I was doing. Remember I was in acting for a while, and I had the opportunity to be like a delivery person, so I could actually go onto the lots and deliver things to people I would not have permission to deliver to, for because I couldn't get on the lots unless I was a delivery person. Well, I was in that job for maybe 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and my body started breaking down. I was like, I don't think I'm supposed to be doing this. My body is saying no, get out of this. And so I quit because it's like, my body's breaking down. I don't want to do this. And so you have to listen to those pings inside. You have to listen to that inner voice that says, are you having a good time? You're not? Stop it. Stop that, whatever you're doing. And do that, because I couldn't do it anymore. So
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of us have that general job, that general job description of finding the place of joy and making that our daily practice. But then you get people like Eric Pearl, who has this job delivered to him. Here is reconnective healing. Let's see what you do with it. Or Abraham Hicks, or Asil Toksai. I
they
feel
all got to choose.
Yeah, and they're
Mhm.
allowed to choose. We have free will. Some of us are like the job arrives daily. Oh, here's my and I don't want to describe it as a task, because it's more fun than that. It's not a task. It's our daily opportunities to raise consciousness and be the love, be the change we want to see in the world. But maybe it's because I'm going to be 72 in August, and I'm still kind of looking for, gosh, now I've got all this time, what do I do with it besides, tease my dog, to be a good example to young relatives. What do I do? What do I do? Yeah,
What do you enjoy doing right now?
I'm eating pretzels.
Well, that's great.
Great. I would rather have Cheetos, but then I always eat Cheetos with chopsticks because of the orange finger phenomenon. But I don't want to oppress anybody with that on camera.
We would marvel at your skills.
Well, you would.
Yeah, Mary, you just established yourself as one of the most unique people on the planet. I never heard of that before. And I just think it's great. I love when people do things that are just not commonplace. And then Cecilia, one thing I was coming out of your message to me, even though you didn't say that word, is the word community. To build community, and how wonderful. We're not just solo artists here on Earth. If we could just learn to, of course, sometimes that takes inner work too, to be able to be in a community, or to form a community, or to be a good influence in a community. So again, it takes that inner work. And then Barbara, you said, that we can be what we naturally are, and I've always subscribed to that for quite some time. And how I see it is that we naturally are love. We naturally are compassion. We naturally are peace, all those good things. And of course, society has done a great deal to help us unlearn that. And it's our task, again, in the learning process, to circumvent that. One other thing about learning, I've always regarded myself as a lifelong learner. I really have been. Then I picked up a book by Krishnamurti, and sometimes he well, he words things so beautifully. And at first I was mad at him because he said, you know, if you're a learner, you're missing out. And I thought, oh no, don't say that to me. And then as he continued speaking, what he meant by that was if you're just leading your life, learning things that have nothing to do with your inner self, your inner soul, your participation on the planet, you're just there as an intellectual exercise. Well, I mean, yeah, that's good, but at the same time, that's not the kind of learning that I'm talking about. And I don't think that's the kind that Cecilia is talking about. Learning can be an absolutely beautiful thing.
Yeah, and to me, it's really more like absorbing the beingness of you know, the message or whatever. Because yeah, I find kind of like you, Cecilia, and I'm sure all of you, if something, you know, gets me miffed or, you know, I'm feeling uncomfortable, I am, thanks to some of the practices I've done recently in the past number of years, especially reconnective healing, it helps me to get more in touch with my and trusting of that inner being and that connection with my inner being, that knowing of it. And then I can kind of shift and say, okay, now what's, you know, what would work better? What would make me feel better? You know, bring me back to that point of joy. And yeah, I think that fortunately I'm at a point where I don't have to deal with that on a daily basis. I used to, I don't anymore, which is nice. And that brings me a lot of joy too, just realizing that, you know, and sitting with just how marvelous my life is, you know, and that acceptance and openness. So, and I think that that's part of the being, the job of, you know, what we're doing here is to kind of be that light or something.
Well, I think it's combining this with what Gino's been saying is we do the inner work and we allow it to become the outer expression of how we are on the planet. But doing that inner work, I think is so important, and to continue with it. You may think you've read the most enlightening book on the planet and you're going to go with it, but before you know it, you need more. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Although
always yeah. Go ahead.
Oh. Well, I was going to say, it's not really that hard. I mean, it's really more just a matter of trusting and allowing, you know, and stepping back from the resistance of, it doesn't really have to be that hard. I don't think anyway. So go ahead, Cecilia.
I was just agreeing with you. I think that's absolutely right. You just like let go of the resistance completely. It's like it's like what Abraham Hicks always says, you know, it's a cork bobbing on the water. That cork is not going to go down underneath unless you pull it down, unless you physically force it down below the water. Otherwise, just let go and bloop, you're back on top. And so that's how life is. And if you choose joy, you're back on top. That's it. And you're only going down because you're struggling and you're fighting and you're you know. I had this amazing dream one time, and I was in this mountain stream, and I was just in the water, and I just kept on going down this stream, and I kept trying to grab at all the different rocks and things and trying to hang on. And inside I heard, just let go. And then I let go in my dream, and it was so beautiful and so amazing. And I landed in this gorgeous spot. I was afraid to go because I didn't know what was ahead of me. I didn't know what was going to be there. And when I let go in my dream, I was like, I was transported into beauty and joy. And it was brilliant. I was like, just let go. Okay, I get it. All right, stop struggling. Just let go. And you'll go where you're supposed to go.
And of course, David R. Hawkins would tell us that as we raise our own consciousness through this inner work and outer expression, the consciousness of the entire planet raises. So we do what we do with good heart, open love, and maybe that's a great job description.
I I think not calling it a job is the best description.
I guess so.
Something I
It's
have to
just,
do. It's something I want to do and choose to do.
yeah, it's maybe our role is to be happy.
Our choice. Our
Yeah.
choice is to be happy.
Choice, choice is happiness. Our choice is love.
Yes. Oh wait, I'm gonna play that because I like this.
Aw. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Cecilia, you have such great power. How did you do that? Oh my God.
We're always afraid to touch those little buttons at the bottom.
I'm learning so much about
If
you
you don't
ladies.
touch, you can't. You'll never discover. What'd you say?
Chopsticks, chopsticks, hearts. I mean, all of this is so amazing. Anyway,
I think from a distance, just sitting here watching, I think, Mary, you are actually doing exactly what Cecilia is explaining, because you were questioning. You were like, I'm this amount of years old, I have my dog, what else? And you're at that precipice where you're like, this doesn't feel totally fulfilling right here. And so like you're just about to figure out where it is and you're gonna go.
Yeah. What I'm doing right now is not enough.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll open my door and a path will open at my feet and I will take that road. I'm thinking too about, I do paint, and I'm thinking about, let's not have a preconceived idea when I go into the painting. Let's let the paint express itself. And when others see it, maybe they will learn something, be something, have a response that is enlightening for them.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And enjoy yourself while you're doing it.
Oh, I always do. That's why I'm always covered with paint.
Yeah.
Love that.
Sometimes a brush is not enough and you have to get in there with your hands.
That's the
Yeah.
best. That's the best. I was thinking about that recently about it's like, why do we age? Why do we have why did our body change when we age? Why can't we just be young always? And stuff. And I was thinking, and the answer I got was just because you need to try new things. And if you had this capacity all the time, you would never meet that new person. You would never ask for help. You would never engage in different conversations and find new ways to explore the earth if your body was not allowing you opportunities to change. And so it was really interesting because I shared with you that I had slipped on a banana peel just recently, about a month ago or whatever, and I had to ask for help. Basically, I needed people to help me, and they were there, and I was so amazed that my community just rose up. My family was just like, they were kind. They weren't sarcastic. They were kind. It was like, this is amazing. I didn't know they had it in them. And there they go. And it was amazing and wonderful. It's like you get to see different sides of people when you have different requests of them, when you give them the opportunity to shine, they do. That's what I learned. It was beautiful.
And these things allow us to slow down.
Yeah.
There was a time after my husband died and I was trying to figure out what could possibly make me happy. And I thought, oh, I'll open a Christmas store. And so there was a Christmas fair that was going on in the north of England. I'm going to go there and I'm going to buy a bunch of product and I'm going to open my store. So I flew to London, and within 3 hours, I had broken my leg.
Oh.
And I had to slow down. I had to rethink all of this. And, it was still a good trip, but just not what I had planned. And I learned a lot. And I did go to the Christmas fair, but having thought more deeply, having been forced to think more deeply, that's not what I ended up doing. So tripping and falling, when life tells you to slow down and you don't slow down, it breaks your leg. So, or it makes you slip on a banana peel, or
It gives you an opportunity to ask for help.
Yeah, or you're stuck in an
to
airport. for
see the
24
beauty of
hours.
other people around you, to see the beauty that's all around you.
Yeah.
When you think you can do it alone, step aside. I've got this. It's like,
Yeah.
no. Come
Yeah.
on in, community. Show me the
Yeah.
love.
Indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, and sounding like a cliche, it gives you the opportunity to make lemonade when you're stuck with the lemon. And to me, that's just such an important piece of what's helpful navigating through this life.
Yeah.
It's reframing our attitudes about things.
Yes.
Yeah, Cecilia, I want to comment on something you said too, in that, you know, when you're living in this space, you do see the goodness in other people, and those experiences come to you, like when your family did this and everybody wasn't arguing and everything. And it made me think of my last trip to Florida to see my family. And I have two sisters, my mom there, and my one sister and I have not gotten along all these years. I really feel like I've done a gargantuan effort to help. She feels she has, but in my view, she hasn't. But okay. So anyway, I was staying with her. And on a Saturday night, she said, do you want to go to church with me tomorrow? And I said, well, you know, I'm not really a Christian and I don't like going to church. And she looked like she was kind of mad, etc. So then the next morning I said, what time are you going to church? She says, right now. I says, I'm going with you. She said, I love you. It meant so much to her, right? And I said, well, Michelle, I said, I want to know all about my sister. I know nothing about your life. This is the reason I'm going. I want to know, you know? And so we went to the church and it was everything I thought it would be. I did not like it. I extracted things that I thought were good, but I didn't let her know that. In fact, I told her that if you, I said, you know, I can see how people derive a lot of good from it. I said, it's just not for me. You know, that was my best way to go.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, that is a perfect anecdote to end on, I think.
Ah.
Thank you so much for coming today. This is great discussion. We'll see you all next week. When Julie will be back. Okay, see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks. Take care.
Bye.